Hey guys, just going to do a carburetor clean on this Masport carburetor I have here. Just interesting thing I noticed, I've actually never seen a carburetor with a fuel tap on. So right now this would be the off position, and if I slide this using one hand, always tricky, to that position, that's on. So the fuel goes through here, and it goes, as you can see, through this tap, and as that's on the on position, and then it goes in through there, and then comes out here when this little shifter slides open, and then closes. And the more this opens, the more fuel and air gets emitted, which means the higher the RPMs. That's pretty sure that's how it works. So as you can see, it's pretty dirty, needs to be cleaned, and I've got the carby cleaner and all that, and pretty much just give it a good clean over, and I will come back to you. Also, another thing that's really good about this carburetor is that it's got the bleed valve here. So pretty much what that is you just undo this screw here, and when the carburetor is full of fuel, that sits up in the, like that, bolts on. You open that up, and the fuel that remaining in the carburetor bowl is drained out, which prevents gunk and build up and stuff forming in the bottom of the bowl. Not too sure if I made that very clear. I've never personally ever seen a carburetor in the times of repairing mowers that has this tap connected as one. First time I've ever seen it today, when I just pulled this mower apart that a person gave me to clean and repair. First time. Alright, so I just loosened the bolt here in the carburetor, for the carburetor bolt that holds the bowl on, and I actually haven't seen what state this bowl is in. So as you can see very easily, there is a lot of grime and stuff in the bottom of the bowl. Now let's go back to the screw here. As you can see, that's what that screw is for. It's just to drain that little bit of fuel. But as you can see, there's going to be a little tiny little bit more fuel left below there. So I usually like just to turn that valve off, or turn off my tap that I have on my my Victor. There's a video on YouTube, a couple of videos before this. So yep, that's all sandy, deposited gunk and stuff from the fuel. Yes, definitely. So this is your float. So my needle nose pliers I have here. Now here, we want to take this bolt here. Shitty camera, it's not focusing very well. As you can see there, you just want to gradually take that out. If this is really bad quality, I'm sorry, but I've got a really bad camera at the moment. Now these things here can disappear very quickly, so my suggestion is just get this and put that in there. Now with your carburetor float, you got your needle. It's only a one. Okay. And there's your needle. Your needle right there, that's based on a spring. So there's your float, and there's your needle. Doesn't really fit, doesn't really matter. So now what you want to do is you want to get your carburetor cleaner, which I have outside, I haven't gotten yet, And you want to clean all these compartments. You want to clean this here, you want to be cleaning this one here, you want to be cleaning that one there, you want to be cleaning all of it. You can see there's quite a bit of gunk and stuff right here, as you can see. So I've got a bit of work to do. Now it's another thing here, is this O-ring here actually sits flush with the metal. You know, it's only a little hair that can actually be seen. I don't know if you can see that. You can see just it fraction, probably a mil up it sits. And that's a nice design because it means that the O-ring doesn't keep falling off and getting in the way and everything. Now pretty much all I'm going to be doing right now is just getting the carburetor cleaner and just cleaning all these holes, all of it in here, finishing off cleaning the front and the top part of this here. I'll clean the fuel and the carburetor, clean in there, clean all there. Then I'll come to the bowl, clean all this gunk out here, clean all that out. Then I'll give the float. The screw has a hole in it, yep. So don't forget to clean the screw hole. Let me just get it out of here. Well, maybe not. Wait, am I saying things? No, I'm not saying things. No, this screw doesn't have a hole in it at all. Some carburetors have a hole in it, but it's still good to clean out all these little holes and sections. Get it all cleaned. And what I like to do is I like to get a bit of engine oil, and I like to put it on each of the screws, and I like to put it in where the screws sit. And that just, you know, you never know when you're going to next pull this apart. You never know who's going to be next doing it. You might be the one doing it, and it's really annoying when you have seized bolts and stuff. So putting a bit of oil on the thread just helps it, so that, you know, in a year's time or 24 months time, it's very easy to take this bolt out again. Now I do that with everything, you know, doesn't matter really what it is. Now remember to clean the fuel, the idler, all this in here, the bowl, the carburetor. Don't forget, you can use a wire brush, or you can use a piece of wire and poke it in the hole. Using air compression works, or if you really want to, do a totally thorough job, which I don't usually do. I sometimes do it depending on how dirty the job is. This isn't actually that bad. There's actually not much dirt inside the carburetor that I have to worry about. It's all sitting on the bottom of the bowl, which is nice. But my main area here is just the dirt on top, which I spray on carburetor cleaner, and then I use an old electric toothbrush head, and I just come and I just brush it all off. And I just brush it all off like that. A bit hard to do with one hand. So I just brush it all off like so. And as you can see, gunk and stuff is already coming off. You know, pretty much what I do. And see, all the gunk and that comes off nice and easily. Carburetor cleaner works. This works, or you can use cotton bud heads. Cotton bud heads work really well just to get in here and just to clean off all this gunk in here. It's so hard to do with one hand without it moving around and trying to get the right lighting and all that. As you can see here, as I said before, this is a really bad camera, so if you don't get really good quality out of this, I'm sorry, but unfortunately right now it's the best you're going to get. My phone camera has got black dots that are now forming on it, so it's quite hard to film with that because it looks pretty ugly, and I thought, nah, people will complain even more if I have that like that. So, you know, I don't actually have an air compressor where I am right now. I've got it at my work, but right now I don't have an air compressor at my place, so it's a bit hard to, you know, use air to clean. So as you can see, really dirty. Works really well. So you've got, you know, 3 or 4 different ways to clean it. You've either got your air, you got your spray, so your carburetor cleaner, so you can soak this carburetor in carburetor cleaner, or in engine oil, or in just normal petroleum. Fuel is a really good cleaner. I only just figured it out. It's really good to clean mower decks, not too good for the paint, so, you know, I recommend getting a wet sponge and just taking off that fuel residue that's left after you've cleaned the deck, if you want to use fuel. I recommend doing that. Soaking it in carburetor cleaner, petroleum, fuel, whatever you want to call it. Diesel. I don't actually use diesel because none of my equipment here is diesel operated, so I don't have any reason to buy diesel, so I don't know if diesel would work better. I'd say it does because it's a much stronger fuel. You know, it's a much higher, you know, it ignites at a much higher compression rate. So yeah, either that, you know, using your cotton buds, using wire, using an old paper clip, just poking through all these holes here, just poking it through all here, or using redneck style an old electric toothbrush. Works really well. An old toothbrush works the exact same. It all works perfectly. They all do the exact same job. You know, some might say, oh, that's a shit way of doing it, but at the end of the day, you will get the exact same result. One may be a little better than the other, but at the end of the day, there's not really that much of an improvement. So, you know, I'm not going to preach to you guys for 20 minutes and say you've got to go out and get an air compressor and you've got to soak your items every time you want to clean it for the best possible outcome, because, you know, well, I don't do either of those things, so I can't honestly say it's the best. You know, it probably is the best way to soak it overnight, but that's really if it's really hard, grimed on stuff. But this is really very flaky and just comes off easily, so I don't really need to soak it overnight. Oh, thank you. Alright, so I'm back for about probably 40 minutes. I was just working, cleaning of this. Honestly, I think that's just stained on there, really. I've put carburetor cleaner on it, I've soaked it, I've heated it, I've frozen it. I swear I've done everything to it. There's no way that's coming off. So I'm calling that quits there, and that should be about good there. Now, I'm going to bring back the carburetor. It's annoying because it doesn't sit very happily. Now, I'm going to start reassembling this. So what you want to do, this is hard with one hand, is you want to make sure the float and the needle, am I on frame? Yes I am. They both match up, and the float goes in its hole, and that should sit happily in there, like that. Now come over to here where my parts are, and remember our needle. We want to make sure we get our needle and that we put our needle in. Ah, perfect. Made to go in, made to fit. So now that isn't going to go anywhere. Now the purpose of the float works the exact same way a toilet system works. When this comes down, this is an empty float. When this rises and hits the top, the needle in the carburetor, now this is the way I understand how it works. This could be totally wrong, but I'm pretty sure that I'm right. So when this is open like that, it works the exact same way a cistern toilet works. Toilet system. Fuel enters through that needle, through where that needle sits. And when that needle, and then when the fuel comes into the bowl, the float rises, and when it hits the top, the fuel gets shut off by the needle, which means that there is no more fuel that comes in until it gets burned in the engine. Then, when the fuel goes low, it will then open back up again, and then it will close and open and close and open and close. Now, you probably had surging mowers or mowers that throttle very high and then chug and they start to choke, and they sound really sluggish. What happens is that either this float isn't working correctly, the needle is stuck, or the holes in here are blocked, meaning that the fuel is struggling to be put in with the exact correct same mixture as the air. Now, as that's on and all fine, we want to get our carburetor bowl. Now remember what I said last time about having this screw facing outwards? Well, right now that's in the incorrect position. So you want to turn this 180 degrees like this. Now we have the screw facing outwards, and this is the way the mower carburetor sits, so that's fine. And then we want to get our screw, which is this one here, and we want to go underneath, and we want to screw it on, making sure that this is still in the correct position, which it is. So that's good. Now this is a 10mm socket, by the way, and they are all, or every single one that I've worked with has been a 10mm. Don't know why they're all 10mm. I guess it's just a good, size for the screw to be. And the exact same one here. Now, I don't know how well this will work, but I will now get my socket set, which is lying over here. My 10mm socket's in the incorrect position, as per usual. I don't know how well this is going to work. Making sure that this and this are still aligned. As you can see, this will be facing out towards us, so we want to make sure that this is also facing out towards us. So now I'll go back and do this. I'll take this back out again, and I'll put some oil just on that O-ring, just to keep that O-ring from perishing. And the same with this one, except this one actually doesn't need to be that tight, unlike the other one. So I might just loosen that one, and I might just do that with this screwdriver here. Doesn't need to be tight because you're going to be opening and closing it periodically. Now, I didn't get a chance to open this up. I ran out of time today, so maybe another day we'll open this up and we'll have a look inside. It's just the exact same way a tap works. I'd say that's off, you flick that to that, and that's on. Pretty much exactly how it works.